Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Deadpool 2. Sorry for the, slightly late review. Usually I try to get them up on Thursday, but Friday night, good enough, right? So let's start talking about this movie. Of course, with my movie reviews, I usually do a non-spoiler portion and a spoiler portion, so I'll warn you guys once I get to spoilers. But what is this movie about? We obviously get a sequel of Deadpool, and without spoiling too much, it's really just a parody movie in a lot of ways. It's hard to really talk about this plot without spoiling, but I guess my big thing about this movie is that there's not much of a plot. It is definitely straight up, you like Deadpool, you like jokes, you like, breaking fourth wall stuff, that's this movie. But I do think the execution of the first film was a little neater than what we got here, but I did like a lot of the jokes they present here. I don't want to go to too many, but there's some nice comic book references, like Jerry Dugan, who just ended his run, or Jerry Duggan, who just ended his run on Deadpool was referenced here. Rob Liefeld not being able to draw feet was referenced, so there's a lot of fun stuff like that. And things I really appreciate was the action. The mix of comedy and utilizing songs like Dolly Parton, or, songs by Dolly Parton and Celine Dion, and making it into an awesome action sequence. So those are the things I really could appreciate. It's just the visual visual aspect of this film and just the tone of this movie. So overall, without giving spoilers, I'm going to give this one 3.5 stars. It was not as good as the first movie for me, but still a fun comedy if you're looking for that, but doesn't measure up to the other superhero movies that came out this year, like Avengers Infinity War. No. Does it, is it better than Deadpool 1? Not really, but it's fun, and that's exactly what you're looking for. Now, moving on to the spoiler portion, because again, I could kind of talk about my problems with this film a little bit more. But going back to this movie not really having a plot, didn't really like the whole girlfriend dying thing, especially because I just feel like they didn't utilize it well, and it's definitely a trope I do not like, so that's number one. But two, it's just like, I didn't really like the whole Deadpool trolling us that he was gonna die, and then doesn't, and then he's with his girlfriend. His girlfriend was just weirdly placed here. I didn't like her at all, and I liked her in the first movie a lot more, but just being utilized as a pawn and not really making a joke about it and saying, this is what other movies and comics do, it just kind of was strange, and just falls into a lot of other tropes that superhero films and comics have done in the past, so didn't love that. Things I did like a lot, though, was the X-Force joke where everyone dies. I thought was hysterical, very Suicide Squad in a lot of ways, too. Really liked Domino here. Wanted more of her, honestly. I really wanted more of her character. Cable, didn't really like his motives of coming back, and I didn't like that we found out so late. I love the reference of Hope, but it kind of sucks that she's not as important in these films as at least in the past. Maybe she'll grow up to be the Hope Summers we know and love from the comics in like a next X-Force film or next Deadpool film, but she seems pretty, normal here, and just seems like, hey, I'm the daughter, and that's it, and again, gives kind of motives to Cable, and that's her role here, which I expected a little bit more from Hope, because she's an awesome comic character, so at least allusions to maybe a future for her would have been nice, but we didn't really get that with Hope. So I didn't like that the motivations were just so cliche and generic, I must save my family, type thing, and not really make a joke about it. I didn't really know it was falling into that cliche, and again, it took so long for us to find out, or at least give his motives, and Maybe because they were trying to play him up as the villain, because there really wasn't a villain in this movie. I don't know. And then we got Russell. I want to talk about him, because I actually liked him in the beginning of this movie, and then as the movie went on, I just disliked him more and more. And obviously he's the main drive of this plot, but I just didn't care for his character. And I know he was supposed to be this kind of emotional core of this movie, but I just was not feeling it by the end. I'm like, bye Russell, I don't need you. Give me more Domino and the Peter. I liked him. The X-Force in general was definitely the best part of this movie. And I mean, Deadpool himself. The one thing is with this movie is if you are a huge Deadpool fan, you will love this. It's so Deadpool. But if you're like me, who only likes Deadpool in doses, this was a lot of Deadpool. And when I say that, obviously you're going to get a lot of Deadpool as a character, but what I mean is Deadpool's humor. It's a lot of it. Like every line he does, it's his humor. And I feel like in the first film, it was a little bit more even with superhero plot and Deadpool's humor. And which made Deadpool 1, I think, a more well-constructed film. But again, I had fun with this. I'll give it overall a 3.5 stars. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted. Oh, the ending credit scene was amazing. I love that he just, Ryan Reynolds / Deadpool shoots Green Lantern and shoots the other Deadpool. I thought was amazing and so Deadpool. And I like the scenes we got to see from, I never can remember her name. I want to call her Teenage Wasteland. It's obviously not that. It's Neo. I don't even know her name. The girl from the first movie. I like the small scenes we got to see with her, and then the ending credit. I liked her girlfriend. I thought was really funny. Their relationship. Colossus and Deadpool had a fun relationship in this. So, again, I think you have a really fun time with this. But if you look at it in structure, if you look more at the movie structure, I think that's where the movie falls apart a bit. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this movie. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And yes, we will be doing a Media Madness for this as well. I do not have a date for it yet, but on Twitter, I will announce it if you want a more in-depth conversation about this movie. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.